Tonight, your chair is completely innocent. You know this. Your chair knows this. Your brain, however, has opened a criminal investigation. Because when the lights go out, that chair suddenly looks suspicious. The jacket hanging beside it looks worse. The laundry pile looks like it has shoulders. And that tiny shadow in the corner? Obviously, a demon with excellent patience. You turn on your phone flashlight. Nothing. Just clothes. Just furniture. Just your brain embarrassing you again. But why does this happen? Why can a perfectly normal object become terrifying after sunset? The strange answer is that your brain does not simply see the world. It constantly guesses what the world is. And darkness gives those guesses much more freedom. During the day, your eyes collect enormous amounts of information. Edges are obvious. Colors are visible. Objects have clear shapes. Your brain gets plenty of evidence. At night, much of that evidence disappears. Now your brain has a problem. It still needs to understand what is around you. So it starts filling in the blanks, and sometimes it fills them in with a monster. Think about walking into your bedroom at night. You see something near the door. It is tall. It is dark. It seems to have a head. Your brain immediately asks an important question. Is that a person? It does not first ask, could that be my hoodie? Your survival system is not exactly known for being chill. If the shape might be dangerous, your brain would rather investigate. This is called threat detection. And evolution strongly favored brains that noticed possible danger quickly. Imagine two ancient humans walking through a dark forest. One sees a strange shape. He thinks, probably nothing. The other thinks, oh no, something with teeth. The second human survives if the shape really is dangerous. The first human might become lunch. So evolution had a simple rule. When uncertain, notice possible threats. That rule was useful. It was also extremely dramatic. Because the same brain that once watched for predators now watches your curtains. And your curtains have never done anything wrong. Researchers Öhman and Mineka describe this tendency as part of an evolved threat detection system. Humans are especially sensitive to certain kinds of threatening information, faces, animals, sudden movement, dark shapes, things that might be watching us. And darkness makes several of these problems worse. Your visual system becomes less certain. Your brain becomes more dependent on expectations, and that is where things get weird. Your brain does not passively receive an image. It builds a perception. Think of your brain like a detective. Your eyes provide clues, your memories provide clues, your expectations provide clues. Then your brain announces its best guess. Usually, that guess is boring. Chair, door, curtain, coat. At night, the evidence becomes weaker. So your brain leans harder on prediction, and prediction can be wonderfully stupid. You see two bright spots in the darkness. Your brain thinks, eyes. You stare. They are actually two buttons on a shirt. Congratulations. You have discovered a shirt with a face. This tendency to perceive meaningful patterns is called pareidolia. It is why people see faces in clouds. It is why rocks sometimes look like animals. It is why a stain on the wall can suddenly look like your angry uncle. Your brain loves patterns. Faces are especially powerful patterns. A face tells you something important. Someone is there. Someone is looking at you. Someone might be paying attention to you. That is useful information. So your brain became very good at detecting faces, possibly a little too good. Research by Canwisher and colleagues identified a region of the human brain strongly involved in face perception. The fusiform face area responds especially strongly to faces. But your brain does not always wait for a perfect face. It can respond to something face-like. Two dots, a curved line, a shadow, a pair of holes. Suddenly, the laundry basket has a personality, and unfortunately, it looks disappointed in you. Darkness also changes how your eyes work. When light levels fall, your visual system becomes less precise. Your cones become less useful. Your rods become more important. Rods are extremely sensitive to low light, but they are not great at detecting fine detail and color. So the world becomes visually simplified. Edges become uncertain. Colors disappear. Small details become harder to distinguish. Your brain is basically working with a blurry security camera, and then you expect it to identify a mysterious shape perfectly. Good luck. There is another problem. Peripheral vision becomes especially interesting in darkness. You might notice something moving beside you. You look, nothing. You look back, there it is again. You turn your head, still nothing. This happens partly because peripheral vision is sensitive to movement but less precise for detail. Your brain notices change before it knows what caused the change. That is enough to trigger attention, and attention can make the mystery feel bigger. Now imagine you are lying in bed. You hear a tiny sound. Your brain freezes. Was that the window, the refrigerator, the house settling, a mosquito, or the beginning of a horror movie? Your brain does not immediately know, so it checks the possibilities. This is where expectation becomes powerful. If you believe something scary might be nearby, ambiguous information can feel threatening. The same sound can feel completely different depending on what you expect. A noise in the kitchen at noon is annoying. The same noise at 2 a.m. is apparently the opening scene of your final moments. Why? Because context changes perception. Your brain interprets information using what it already knows. This is sometimes described as top-down processing. Your expectations influence what your senses seem to tell you, and darkness provides fewer sensory details to argue back. During the day, your eyes can say, "Relax, that is a coat." At night, your eyes say, "Maybe." Your brain says, "Coat monster." And now you are wide awake. Fear also changes attention. When you feel threatened, your attention becomes narrower. You start monitoring suspicious things. Every sound becomes important. Every shadow gets inspected. Every movement gets investigated. This can create a feedback loop. You become more alert. Because you are more alert, you notice more tiny changes. Because you notice more tiny changes, you find more suspicious things. Those things make you more alert. And suddenly your bedroom feels like enemy territory. Nothing has actually changed. Your interpretation has changed. This is one reason familiar places can feel unfamiliar at night. The furniture has not moved. The room has not changed its identity. But the visual information describing it has disappeared. A familiar room becomes an incomplete puzzle. Your brain hates incomplete puzzles, so it starts solving them, sometimes incorrectly. This is also why children can be especially frightened by shadows. Children have less experience distinguishing ambiguous nighttime shapes. Their brains have fewer reliable explanations available. A shadow can therefore become a person. A coat can become a monster, a sound can become footsteps, and imagination supplies the missing details. But adults are not immune. You can be 40 years old, you can understand physics, you can know exactly where the jacket came from, and you can still walk past it 3 times. Because knowing something intellectually is not the same as perceiving it automatically, your threat system can react before your reasoning catches up. That is why you sometimes feel fear before you understand why. Your brain can basically send the alarm first, then ask questions later. This system is not broken. It is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It is trying to keep you alive. The problem is that modern life contains far fewer predators. But your brain still carries ancient detection machinery. The lion disappeared, the hoodie remained. So your brain repurposed the hoodie. There is something strangely beautiful about that. The same system that once helped humans survive dangerous environments still operates inside your bedroom. It watches, it predicts, it checks, it guesses, and occasionally it turns a perfectly innocent chair into an absolute menace. So, the next time your room looks terrifying at night, remember something. You are not necessarily seeing a monster. You are seeing your brain working with incomplete information. Your eyes provide fragments, your memories provide possibilities. Your expectations provide meaning, and your survival system chooses the safest interpretation it can find. Sometimes that interpretation is wrong, but evolution would rather give you 10 false alarms than 1 missed predator. That means the terrifying shadow in your room is actually evidence of something remarkable. Your brain would rather scare you unnecessarily than fail to protect you. The chair is innocent. The jacket is innocent. The laundry pile is definitely guilty of something. But the monster? The monster was mostly built inside your own head, and maybe that is the strangest part. Darkness does not create monsters. It simply gives your brain enough empty space to imagine them.